Hi, it's Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts. And the camera needs to go, the phone needs to go just a little bit like that. Because okay, no, that's straight. Okay, it's Thursday. I have been working on my third bag of scrap yarn from my Yarn Flipper Friday challenge. And I think by Friday, which is tomorrow, I may have a summary of this bag. When I first weighed it, I wrote down that it was 1 pound, 8 ounces. I don't think that was right because I just weighed it again after making 3 items and it says it's down to 5.6 ounces. And I vaguely remember when I took the bag off the scale, it said like minus 7.9. So there was like a tear in there from weighing something else. I'm not quite sure what happened there. My phone is acting weird. It's like it's freezing. Don't do that, phone. Okay. So I'm going to say that I started at 1 pound and now it's down to 5.6 ounces. 5.6 ounces I can finish off in one night. I've made 3 items. 2 were from my restock list, and 1 was something new to me. You'll hear about that in a minute. First, I just updated this listing yesterday. I love this. I made another Gertrude the Grumpy Chick in yellows with a blue hat, pale blue hat. I need to add her to the Etsy listing. I will do that immediately today and get that taken care of. But I love Gertrude the Grumpy Chick. I don't know what it is. I just love her. And she sold well for me, so I want to keep making those. And then another duck. I yellow yarn out. I'm on a duck kick. Another duck that has sold well for me is the duck in fruit hat from LA Crochet. And I had orange out there from Beaks and Feet for various critters. So I made her the orange hat this time. You could also make a blueberry hat, a strawberry hat. I think there's instructions for a kiwi hat. I've done a football hat. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. So I made that. 2 items done. I think between the 2 of those, they finished off 2 of the smaller skeins of the yellow yarn that was in the bag. So then this morning, I'm just scrolling through YouTube, and there were a couple of crochet kits. I believe I got them from Temu. And when I went to do them, I was rather confused. So I actually clicked the QR code and watched the videos to figure out what was going on. Okay. Well, clicking on the QR code and finding this YouTube channel, excuse me, closer. They have lots of videos, tutorials of crochet patterns. So in my YouTube feed today, it pops up with a YouTube tutorial for a Playful Pear. I was like, that's sort of weird, but it's sort of cute. Should I? I've got all this yellow yarn here. Why not? So I will put up over here a screenshot of what their Playful Pear is supposed to look like. At the end of the video, they also called it a quirky pear. And then I will show you how mine turned out. You can't really see the arms with, okay. Boop, boop, boop. There's mine. Sorry, I'm losing it. Okay. But if someone saw this at a craft show and responded like that, like, what? They might just buy it. I have not figured out exactly where I went wrong. Um, I think, well, they're when they sewed the mouth on, I think they had the mouth sewn. They sewed it on so that the mouth was closed, which does change the look of it. See, even there, squeezed shut a bit. That does make it look a little different than that. Maybe I'll take that thread and close up the mouth a bit. And the eyes, they just had 8 single crochets in a magic ring for the eye. I would either say that I was going to do a second round to make the eyes bulge out more, or they had you sewing them on afterwards. Maybe while the top was still open, put the magic ring down and stick the eye right through both pieces of the amigurumi and secure the eyes then. Just the eyes are not. Yeah, they're supposed to look weird. They're supposed to look sort of cross-eyed, but I don't know about you, buddy. I think I'm going to put up a funny fruit listing today. Because maybe the same sort of people who would enjoy an angry banana would enjoy a quirky pear. Oh, I'm losing it today. I'm just maybe I should make another banana with this style eyes and mouth, and then make another pear with this style angry face, so that there's pears. There's a pear. It's a fruit salad. It's a quirky fruit salad. Yes, I am. Do I chalk this up to not enough sleep? The fact that I'm just can't stop laughing at this silly pear? Oh. So I will head back out to my chair. Well, first I am going to get pictures of a lait crochet duck in a fruit hat and Gertrude the duck, and get those added to the Etsy listing. This is my newfound resolution. As soon as you make them, get them on Etsy. See the pile there? I did get a lot uploaded yesterday. I gathered up axolotls and added that silver axolotl in the middle from the Made by Jenna book. Added that to the listing. What other pictures do I have? I put them on Instagram yesterday. Oh, the chickens in a basket. Only one of those was listed because the former listing, I had like 5 sets of chicken in a basket, and 4 of them had sold at craft shows. So that's all up to date with all of my chicken in a basket. And I like those. I could make that in yellow. I could make more of those. And What else was sitting on the... I updated hedgehogs. I updated pop mushrooms. I updated pop frog mushrooms. So I had a productive day of updating things yesterday. And I had a shock. I was cleaning stuff up in the craft show stuff, and I pulled out my setup bag that has like the tablecloths, the cash box, signs, all these little setup materials. Opened up the cash box to put a new package of mints in. Because you're eating lunch at a craft show. You can't go brush your teeth. You don't want to have bad breath for the customers. So I have a package of mints in my cash box. And I had finished off the first package. That's probably been in there for 5 years. When I opened up the cash box, there's no cash. Now, I vaguely remember back at the end of July, beginning of August, that I took all the cash out from Street Fest and I counted it, and I took out the big bills, and then I counted out like $50 in fives and singles for the cash box, and then deposited the rest. But somehow that $50 in fives and singles did not make its way back into the cash box. And I don't know where I put it. I looked all around the bag where the cash box was, like, okay, it was next to a dresser. It was next to an end table. Is it on the end table? Did it fall off the dresser? Did it fall into the sock drawer? I've been looking all over the place. I still have not found the $50 in small change. Yeah. So I'm sure it'll show up and I'll be like, I looked there. I looked there before. Because, okay, yesterday, my brother had called. He is looking for some documents, paperwork, all this, regarding land that he received as an inheritance when our mother passed away. So I looked through the files. I said, okay, I'll look and I'll let you know what I can find. And I messaged him back and said, I found the original mortgage papers and a letter from the bank saying that the original mortgage was paid off in full in 1973. And he's like, oh, great, thanks. So today he messages me again and says, okay, can I stop by and pick up those papers? Sure. So I go to get them. I can't find them. I can't find them. I went and looked in a different location, and I found a couple copies of the original deed to the property. This is dating back to 1958. I think I found like 2 copies of that. But it's like, I know I saw the original mortgage and a letter from the bank. I went through the drawer where that stuff is stored again. Didn't find it. So I finally got a flashlight, because the room that's in, when you go in and you flick the light and you flick the switch and a light should come on, it, instead of getting a light right there on the entry to the room, well, there's no light there, okay? So if you flick the switch, there's no light. There's a light on the other side of the room over at the desk. So it was sort of dim there. So I got a flashlight and propped the flashlight up so it was pointing into the drawers. I just started going through drawer by drawer, folder by folder, file by file, and I found it. I've probably been through that file twice already today. and didn't find it, but with a bright light shining on it and that determination of, I am going to sit here until I find this thing because I know I saw it yesterday, I found it. So I'm sure that I am just overlooking, like I haven't looked in my craft bag that goes to every craft show. Maybe I just tossed it in there like, okay, if I put it in here, this is going to the craft show too. It'll, they're going to the same place. I'll have the money. So I haven't looked there. I gotta look there. I'll look around. It's one of those things where way in the back of your head, there's like, yeah, I remember. I put it someplace until I could get around to digging up the cash box that was like buried in stuff. I was digging through stuff. It was a mess after Street Fest. There were boxes and bags everywhere. Vaguely remember putting it someplace, but I cannot remember where that someplace is. Yeah. If this is 64, I don't know what I'm going to do at 74. I'll spend half my day looking for stuff. I've been looking for this, and I looked through this folder 3 times. Then the 4th time I looked through it, yeah, there it is. I spend a lot of time looking for stuff, yes. Probably spend a lot of time repeating myself, too, because I think I already said that. Okay. It's a crazy sort of day, peeps. So I am going to sign off here so that I can continue the frivolity of making angry or scary fruits and vegetables, because there are people out there that like that stuff. In other words, I'm going to go play with yarn. Bye-bye.